All right, it is April 27th, 2026, and here's a quick little garden update. First one I've done. I'm really late doing a lot of stuff this year in the garden, but we've got us some Super Sweet 100 tomatoes planted here, and got to fill out the rest of this bed here. We got to top off these two beds with some more compost, but I got this old rosemary bush here. This is one of those little pots that you get at Walmart in the produce section. And if anybody knows what this is all about, I don't know why that's different looking than the rest. You can let me know. Got a little bird bath going. Hopefully that'll keep the birds from eating our tomatoes as much when we get them. We have some shade cloth here. I'm trying to see if my peppers will get bigger with shade cloth, but I don't think that's going to work too well, so that's just temporary. I'm going to have to come up with some other way of strapping that cloth, but I've got a combination of jalapenos here with some radishes planted in between them. If you don't know about square foot gardening, everything is on a 1 foot by 1 foot grid. I just don't have the grid on this one, but you can come in between these things and you can plant stuff in between. So before these peppers get super big, you'll be able to harvest some crops and give you a little extra planting space, 2-in-1 kind of thing. Over here we got some sweet banana peppers, and back there we've got sugar snap peas. It's towards almost the beginning of May, and I should have planted these back in February really, because we're not going to have near as long to harvest off of these. But and I think if I'd have done it over again, I probably would have planted these one row forward, because I could have made a little makeshift trellis there, and you can see they don't get super tall, not in our growing length. These are two squash, I think they're squashes, that I separated out. There was some plants that had more than one plant from where both seeds germinated from a pack that Dwayne Kaniga gave me, Kanigi. And so I just plopped them there. Over here we have some rescued kale that were leftovers from my mother-in-law's garden, and then we have some sweet bell peppers all down the front here, and I probably should have planted them down that row there, because you kind of want your tall things in the back based on my sunlight at least. I think we are finally getting some little pepperoncinis. There's some weeds in here too, but I have not been able to grow these in several years because I've always been late getting the seed going. And these things here are those Papa John's peppers pizza, Papa John's pizza peppers. Now it is entirely possible that that is a weed, because this one's out of its spacing, and unless I just happen to drop a seed, these could be nothing. But I think they look a lot like little baby pepper plants. So this is kind of like a nursery square. Well, my hand was way in the picture there. This is my nursery squares here, and so I'll pull these out and put them in different places. And these may actually go in that row I was just telling you about. These here are some Cherokee purple tomatoes, and I was late getting these into some seed cups, so I put them in here. And you can see I'm still battling grass in here that hopefully I just keep pulling it, it'll die. But these are going to go in the other end of that bed over there. And if you've never grown the Cherokee purples, man, they are good. They're beefsteak variety, so they really work better to just leave the skin on and cut through them. But they're very sweet, and they're cool looking because they're not what you normally get in the grocery store. Got a couple different varieties of cucumbers down this row, and you can see here how we have two. So I'm going to get some pots and try to see if I can't separate them out and save the extra plants. If not, I will definitely have to cut them off, because this thing's going to be so many cucumbers we don't know what to do with. But, well, actually we do know what to do with them. We're going to make pickles out of them. And then over here is our new additions for the year. And this one here is Caleb's garden bed. Here's the rest of these squash plants that Dwayne gave us. And he's got some cucumbers planted here. He wanted some more cucumbers. He's got some flowers. These are a candy cane zinnia, so it's going to be interesting to see how those look. And actually, he has not seen this, but I'm about to bring him out here. He got some of them starting to germinate already. And then right here, we've got the squash plants. I see another one over here that has 2 of them that I may try to pull out, see if we can't plant the extra one somewhere. You run a risk when you do that, but we'll do it anyways. Okay, I think I told you wrong. These are watermelon and cucumber, so there's 2 per square. Now this is the grid I was talking about. So we used old window blinds that have broken and made our grid. But this is you can think about this, each one of these is a little bitty garden. So you can, I heard somebody say, you know, that way you may fail in one garden, but you don't fail in the whole thing. But it's just a good way to intensely plant. You don't do as much weeding. But I am worried about whether or not this grass is going to come through, because these are only 6-inch beds, and even on these they're coming through. So I've got to do something about my paths around here. But anyways, back here, these are the cucumbers. And we may actually have a little bit of shading that goes on to the front here, so hopefully not. And then we've got another squash here. These are crooknecks. That's what part of Dwayne's plants he gave us. They really went a long way. But then 9 squares of green beans. So there's 5 we planted per square. You can do 9. I said 9 squares. There's 6 squares. You can do 9 per square, but we did 5. We did like a little dice pattern because they do get pretty thick. And then right here, he's got alternating some marigolds and some, I forgot what other kind of plant flower he did. I think marigold zinnia, something like that. But that's the garden so far. I got a lot of space to fill in. I really think I want to plant some more plants here, maybe some more zucchini, because we got a lot of squash out here, not a lot of zucchini. And then over here on this string trellis, or what was a string trellis, I think I'm going to plant some pole beans, and then I might plant some okra or something in the front. I don't really know, because we're in the hot season now, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually uproot that and put it in a pot, because it's way too big and it'll grow to be the size of a shrub if I'm not careful. You can see how it's really taking up about 4 by 4 on the squares there, excuse me. But anyways, that's what we got going on right now. I do these videos so I know what I planted year to year and can get some inspiration from year to year for myself. And maybe you want to plant you a garden. It's not too late. You can plant stuff all summer, but there's just certain things you can't plant right now. We got our compost tumbler over here too. Finally got that fixed. It was sitting on the ground, and the ants were getting all in that thing, and they're still in there. So I'm gonna have to put some chemical in there that's food safe, some bifenthrin or something like that. But keep turning it, keep wetting it. They don't like that. Hopefully they'll leave. Let's go over here and look at my chocolate candy bars I got growing back here. There's one of them. Hey, Alice. What's going on? So my ears are itching. Any of y'all know, she's got, these dogs, it's a yeast overgrowth, and it's getting their ears, and we're cleaning their ears out, but it's just driving them crazy. And they want to charge like an insane amount for Apoquel, and we just can't do that. So if y'all know anything to help dogs with their yeast, we're going to try doing some yogurt in their food. Supposedly it's a prebiotic thing. What you think, Charlie? I mean, Willie? Sorry. I don't get my kids' names right either. I want y'all to see. This is the laziest dog. Aren't you, Willie? Driving them absolutely crazy.